Lawrence Haddad, welcome. You've just been a part of the session about talking about transitioning towards sustainable food systems for a healthy future. You are the Executive Director of the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, or GAIN, to make it a slightly shorter title. Give me a flavour of what you heard from the forum this morning, whether you are filled with optimism or hope, whether threats and fears were discussed. If you can frame it from your point of view, what are the things that you would say?
Well, I mean, it's both optimism and pessimism, really. The pessimism is that food systems are big beasts and they're very difficult to move in a particular direction. The title was Transitioning a Food System, so it's a big challenge. But I'm optimistic in the sense that I think there are several things we can do that we haven't done yet that can help accelerate this transition. So let me give you my three things. The first thing is metrics. So I know that sounds really boring, but we don't really have a big target around food systems to achieve. So climate change has its 2 degrees centigrade or 1.5 degrees centigrade target. HIV had a target around one set of aims, one set of actions, one set of metrics. Food systems sustainability, we don't. One example is what we want to do is really reduce the price of affordable, nutritious foods from where it is right now down to here. A 10-fold decrease in the price of affordable, nutritious food. Perfect. We also don't do very well on metrics in terms of taking into account the health consequences and the environmental consequences. I don't know why we're not doing that. The science is there. Policymakers aren't taking it on board. So that's the first thing. Second thing is markets. Too many people have seen businesses as only a part of the problem and not part of the solution. And businesses for sure do bad things for nutrition. Sometimes they do it in a willful way, sometimes in a oblivious way, but they do it.
You talked about a mistrust of business being a problem to overcome.
There can be a lot of mistrust of business through infant formula marketing, through the marketing of sugary drinks. But businesses, we're not going to achieve the SDGs, and particularly SDG 2 on food security, without business. Governments and NGOs are not going to do it on their own. So we need to engage businesses and incentivize them to do the right things. Yes, let's incentivize them to stop doing sugar, salt, and fat, and let's incentivize them towards fruits, vegetables, pulses, some animal source foods. Let's reward them for doing good things and punish them for doing bad things.
Preservation can equal profit now. Nutrition can be part of that equation, and that's important, right?
Absolutely. We work with businesses at GAIN in Africa and Asia who say, I'm not big food, I'm medium food, and I want to be big food. And we say to them, well, what are you producing? They say, we're producing peanut butter. Peanut butter is a part of a healthy diet, really important part. We will work with them to support them to do that. We'll give them TA, we'll give them, through the grants we've raised in the public sector, we'll help them buy equipment that will help them scale up in a sustainable way. Markets are the things that sustain and scale interventions, so that the price of peanut butter will come from here down to here. So it won't just be something for urban elites, it'll be something for everybody. And the third thing is around movements. Food systems, this really nebulous term, no one really understands what it is. It's lots of different bits of a big beast. How do we generate sort of outrage and channel the outrage to get policymakers, business leaders, scientists to start focusing on not just feeding the world, but nourishing the world? And I think movements are a way to do that. And that means bottom-up movements. The HIV world did this brilliantly with engaging people who are HIV positive. We need to start engaging people who are malnourished as part of the movement to channel the outrage, to get business leaders, to get policymakers to pay attention. And I think adolescents is a fantastic place to start, because they are the norm shapers of what a healthy diet is for the future. They're not just future parents, they're future entrepreneurs, future leaders, and future norm setters. We need to get adolescents involved in programs that make it easier for them to make healthy choices.
You You shared the panel with one of the co-sponsors of this conference, of the forum, Syngenta. You heard from the UN rapporteur on food, halal. And I wonder, is there one thing that you learnt, one thing that really stood out? I know there was debate around how technology can solve some of these problems, the role of government. But was there anything particularly that you learnt or stood out for you today, Lawrence?
I mean, I think the thing that stood out was that when you start talking, you begin to generate solutions and you begin to find common ground. And if you don't talk, we're quite polarized, business, government, civil society, research. If you don't talk, you don't see the opportunities and you miss them. Some people, when you start talking to them, you realize, hey, I don't want to do business with these people. They don't share my values, they don't share my ethics. But the vast majority, I think, of people I talk to, I do want to work with them because they share the same goal and the same set of values. Yes, there are charlatans and scoundrels, but they're everywhere, in business, government, and even, dare I say it, in research.
I mean, Yanis Potocnik opened today talking about us all being partners in Project Earth. I mean, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, somebody at the dinner yesterday said, in a dead planet, there's no jobs, there's no nutrition. So, one of the most difficult things I think in human behavior is to forego the short-term gain to have a long-term perspective. So we need, in the food system sustainable space, we need to have a wide-angle view. We need to look at environment all the way to human health, but we also need this long-term view where we're saying, what kind of world are we going to be leaving when we leave to the next generation? If we don't leave them with the same natural assets that we had, we failed.
Haddad, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the forum. Important messages.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.